I never imagined my life would shatter after my husband's funeral, his father's shocking betrayal. I will never forget the day everything fell apart. It started with the haunting sound of rain tapping against the window, blending with the muffled sobs of my family. I stood there, staring at the casket. My heart was a heavy stone, each beat reminding me that he was gone. My chest ached, a deep, hollow sensation. The world felt dim, like the sun had forgotten to shine. Everything was dark, except for his father's eyes. Those piercing, cold eyes bore into me, filled with an unsettling mix of grief and something else, something I couldn't quite place. My husband, Jack, was a gentle soul, the kindest man I had ever known. His father, Frank, was everything he wasn't. Forceful, loud, and always just a little too eager to share his opinion. I recalled all the family dinners where the air thickened with tension, where Jack would squeeze my hand tightly under the table as Frank blustered on about his own disappointments. The funeral was a blur of black clothing and hushed whispers. A family friend turned to me, her voice barely above a whisper. "Can you believe he's gone?" The words hung in the air, heavy like an anchor. I nodded, tears spilling over my trembling hands. But I was more than just sad. I was terrified. The world outside the chapel looked chaotic, branches swaying under the relentless wind. I felt like I was being pulled in 1,000 different directions, lost in a sea of sorrow. Suddenly, Frank rose up, his voice cracking like thunder. "We need to talk," he said, staring directly at me. The room fell silent. The air held a terrible tension, the kind that tightens around your throat. I could scarcely breathe. We stepped outside into the pouring rain, the cold droplets hitting my skin like icy needles. Frank's face was stormy, and I could feel the rage emanating from him. "You think this is over? You think you get to take everything from me?" He spat, the words bitter and sharp. My stomach twisted in knots. I couldn't understand. My mind raced, replaying the words, the implications. What did he mean? Everything was already gone. A chill ran down my spine as he leaned closer, the smell of cheap whiskey on his breath mixing with the rain-soaked air. "You don't know the truth about him," he said, each word laced with venom. I stumbled back. My heart raced. What truth? My mind was reeling. Jack had always been my anchor, my beacon of light. And now, his light was extinguished, leaving behind shadows and unanswered questions. Frank's eyes glinted with something I couldn't decipher: anger, grief, or perhaps a hidden agenda. In that moment, I felt utterly small, lost in the clutches of a man who had nothing left to lose. He stepped back, the rain washing away our exchange, as if it had never happened. But the weight of his words lingered in the air, suffocating and ominous. I returned to the quiet, the stillness of the morning room. I could feel the stares of our loved ones, their gentle sorrow morphing into something akin to pity. But it wasn't pity I needed, it was answers. I caught the eye of Jack's sister, Emily. Her brows were knit with worry. She knew. I could see it in her eyes. The agonizing silence screamed at me, urging me to ask her what was happening. What truth? What had Frank meant? How could everything I knew about Jack be a lie? As the rain poured down around me, I stood frozen, my heart hammering against my ribcage, desperate for clarity. I had a million questions but no answers. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The night dragged on, each passing hour like a coffin nail sealing my heart within its confines. Frank's words echoed relentlessly, making sleep all but impossible. I found solace in the shuffling of feet in the dim light, my family still hovering, anxious and protective. But I felt unbearably alone, caught in the twirling vortex of grief and uncertainty. Morning arrived with heavy clouds that threatened more rain. I curled up on the sofa, wrapped in a blanket that smelled faintly of Jackie's lingering scent, a bittersweet comfort. But even that became tainted by the sudden realization that I might not have known him as well as I thought. It felt as if I were living in a portrait of betrayal, the strokes of each memory now suspect. My phone dinged with a message. It was from Emily. "Can we talk? I need to explain things," it read. Straightening up, I stared at the message, my heart racing at what that might imply. What truth could she possibly have to share? Wrapping a tighter grip on the blanket, I fought the urge to ignore the message, dread pooling in the pit of my stomach. An hour later, I found myself sitting across from Emily at our favorite coffee shop, a place where Jack and I had shared countless moments of laughter over steaming mugs and sweet pastries. Somehow those spaces felt safe, but today they held a haunting sense of betrayal. Emily looked pale, her hands trembling slightly as she stirred her coffee. "Thanks for coming," she whispered, her eyes shifting nervously around the cafe, as if she feared being overheard. "I don't know how to say this." "Just say it," I urged, worry spilling over. "What did Frank mean last night?" Emily took a deep breath, her voice quavering. "Jack, he had secrets. Things he didn't want you to know. Things that really hurt him. And maybe Frank has a twisted way of just showing how deep that hurt goes." "Secrets? What kind of secrets?" I pressed, trying to read her expression. But her eyes were downcast, shadows gathering under them, and I felt the world spin just slightly off kilter. "Before you met him, Jack was, well, he was involved in some stuff. He ran with a crowd that made bad choices, and Frank Hay got mixed up in it too. They tried to keep it quiet, pretend it was all in the past, but things don't just go away." And now she faltered, her voice breaking. "Now what?" "Now they're coming to collect what they believe is theirs." An icy fear gripped my heart. "What do you mean, coming to collect?" Emily hesitated, glancing around before she leaned in. "There are people, dangerous people. Jack thought had left it all behind, but Frank, he's caught up in it too. I think he feels guilty about what happened, but he's threatening to drag you into it." My body went tense. "But why? Why now?" "I don't know, but I can't shake the feeling that Frank's lashing out at you is a distraction. Maybe he thinks you will inherit something. Or maybe it's some twisted way of keeping control," she stammered, wiping a tear that escaped her eye. I felt sick. Betrayal pooled in my stomach like lead. Jack had loved me fiercely, I was certain of that. How could I have missed this part of his life? And what did it mean for me now, as I stood on the edge of a precipice I couldn't see? I was drowning in a sea of confusion and fear of the unknown. "Emily, I need to know if there's any way to fix this, any way to protect myself. I can't lose more than I already have," I pleaded, tears blurring my vision as reality began to settle in. A shadow passed over her face, and she placed her hands over mine. "If Frank is going to use you against Jack's past, we need to be smart. We need to find out what he wants and protect ourselves." As I clutched her hands, A sudden hope flickered within me, a fragile flame against the encroaching darkness. Maybe together, we could unravel this tangle of lies, protect the memory of the man I loved. But even as I clung to that thought, doubt crept in. Would it be enough? Just then, the bell over the door chimed, and I turned to see a familiar figure step inside, a figure I never expected to see again. Jack's estranged childhood friend, Brian, stood there, a haunted expression marring his boyish features. Our eyes locked, and in that moment, the weight of the world shifted yet again. There was something about the way he looked at me like he carried a piece of the truth I was so desperately seeking. "Grace," he breathed, his voice strained. "We need to talk." My heart raced at the implications of his arrival, uncertainty swirling like a tornado within me. My aching heart whispered warnings, clearer than ever. Whatever lay ahead, I was standing at a crossroads zone that would lead to either savagery or salvation. The air in the coffee shop felt heavier, charged with an intensity I couldn't ignore. Brian's presence was an anchor in the turbulent sea of my emotions, yet it also brought a new wave of apprehension. The space between us crackled with unspoken words, and a part of me hesitated to step into whatever storm he carried. "Is this about Jack?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper, hoping for something, anything, that might anchor me within this chaos. "Yeah, it's about Jack," he said, glancing at Emily before focusing on me. I was there when he tried to get out of that life. Before everything happened. "There's so much you don't know." "Then tell me." The urgency in my tone made his eyes widen slightly. I needed clarity, needed to untangle the threads of deceit encircling me tighter than a noose. He took a seat across from me, and Emily moved her hand away, sensing this was a private moment I desperately needed. I fought to maintain my composure as Brian leaned in, the intensity of his gaze piercing through the fog of confusion. "Jack got into some deep trouble. I tried to pull him out of it, tried to help him leave those people behind. He was so determined to protect you from everything," he confessed, each word a piece of glass cutting through. "Protect me? He was keeping secrets. He could have told me." "Do you really think he wanted this for you?" Brian pressed, his voice thick with emotion. "God, Grace, he loved you more than anything. But it wasn't just him. He was trying to protect himself from a past that had its claws deep in him." I swallowed hard, grappling with the conflicting emotions swirling inside me. "What do you mean, his past? What did he get involved in?" Brian hesitated, the weight of unspoken truths hanging in the air as if they bore too great a burden to share. "Jack got mixed up with a group of made weapons, small-time dealings. They were dangerous, and he knew things he shouldn't have. When he tried to back away, they didn't let him go easily." A shiver ran down my spine, a cold wave washing over me as I felt the full force of his words hitting like an avalanche. "And Frank?" I asked, voice trembling as I fought to maintain my composure. "What does he have to do with this?" Frank was always in the same circle, but he wasn't as smart about it. Jack kept distance from him for a reason. Brian's brow furrowed deeply, and I could see him wrestling with something unspoken. "Honestly, between you and me, I think Frank resented Jack for leaving that life behind." An icy realization seeped into my chest, making my heart race. He wanted to drag me back into that world or destroy what Jack built with me. "That's why he's been acting erratically." "Yeah," Brian murmured, a touch of regret flashing in his eyes. It was evident he, too, felt the weight of the consequences of Jack's actions and the game of shadows that had been weaved around the truth. "He thinks he can pull you back into something you never wanted." The doorbell chimed again, breaking the tension as an unfamiliar woman entered the shop, her eyes scanning the room. A chill swept through me when she caught sight of us and froze, her lips curling into a tight line, her expression hardening. "Grace," Brian whispered, drawing my attention back to him. "This is bigger than we realized. We need to watch out. Anyone could be watching. We can't trust anyone." "Do you think she—" I began, glancing back at the woman who had now fixated on our table with an unsettling intensity, her demeanor bearing an air of authority. My heart began to pound furiously in my chest. "Not now," Brian cautioned, pushing back from the table as the woman approached. "We need to go, Grace." Now. Panic enveloped me, but a spark of defiance ignited within as I slid my chair back. Before I could even process what was happening, the woman reached our table, her presence imposing and chilling. "Grace." Her voice rolled off her tongue like silk over gravel. "We need to have a word." "About Jack." The blood drained from my face, leaving behind a sense of urgency mixed with dread. In an instant, I felt the walls of my newfound resolve begin to crumble. "Who are you?" "I am a friend," she said, a smile pulling at her lips, though her eyes glistened with an unsettling gleam. "And I know exactly where Jack is buried." The world tilted, and I felt like I was plummeting through the ether, reality slipping further away as the terrifying implications of her words sunk in. With uncertain footing, I stood at the edge once again, the precipice yawning below me, unsure of what loyalty or betrayal lay waiting to consume me whole. The coffee shop blurred around me as I stared at the woman who had shattered the fragile fortress I had begun to build around my confusion. Brian shifted closer, a protective impulse glowing in his darkened gaze, but it was too late. Her words had taken root in my mind, and I could feel their weight pulling me down like anchors in a stormy sea. "Who are you really?" I managed to ask, my voice trembling despite my best efforts. "What do you know about Jack?" A glint of amusement flickered across her features, but beneath it lay something more sinister. "I assure you, I know much more than you think, Grace. Jack's past isn't done with you yet. It will come knocking until you let it in, one way or another. Enough games," Brian interjected, his tone fierce. "If you know where Jack is, then tell us. We have to go." Her lips curled into an unsettling smile, like a cat toying with a cornered mouse. "Oh, sweet Brian, don't rush me. Jack left a very messy legacy behind, and it's not just about where he is. It's about why he's gone and what he left unfinished." "Stop!" I shouted, desperation clawing at my insides. "Just tell me what you know." My heart raced, ragging against the steady pounding of unanswered questions that threatened to drown me. The woman leaned in closer, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Jack was in deep, Grace. Much deeper than he ever let on. You remember the night he went missing? The night Frank disappeared too? Their choices connected them in ways you can't even begin to understand, and it was a reckoning that wasn't meant to happen so soon." The tremor of her words shot through me, igniting a hollow echo of so many unsaid fears. "What do you mean? Are you saying Frank is involved?" "Frank had his hands in everything. That's the beauty of it. You never know who's pulling the strings until it's far too late. Jack wanted out, but Frank Hay always thought he could pull Jack back in." Every word felt like a dagger, each punctuated by memories of Jack's warmth, his laughter, the whispered reassurances in moments of doubt. How can Jack being involved with Frank make sense? He was trying to protect me. "Sure," the woman replied, her voice unyielding. "But sometimes, love isn't enough to sever the ties of the past." My hands gripped the edge of the table, knuckles aching from the clenching tension. "What do you want from me?" She leaned back, her gaze calculating. "Only to help you. To reveal the truth." There are choices you need to make, Grace. You can walk away, bury your head in the sand and pretend you don't belong to this world, or you can step into the chaos and unravel what's buried. But understand this: you could become a target, just like Jack. I need to see him, I insisted, heart racing at the thought of losing him again. I need to know he's okay. The woman's smile faded. Just know, to find him means inviting deeper dangers into your life. Power plays, betrayal, and quite possibly death. Brian's hand clasped mine, a grounding force against the spiraling chaos that encircled my thoughts. Whatever it takes, we will find Jack together, he whispered, his voice firm, urging me to see the strength in alliance amidst the turmoil. Then, with a shift in the atmosphere, the woman straightened, her demeanor suddenly serious. Time is not on your side. Frank is capable of unspeakable things to ensure Jack doesn't return. You need to move before he does. Why are you telling me this? I asked, my head spinning. What do you gain from all of this? Her gaze darkened, revealing something deeper, a hint of vulnerability. Because I've seen what this world does to people. I've lost too. I won't let you suffer the same fate. I found myself pondering her motivations, the lines blurring between friend and foe. I wanted to believe there was a grain of kindness in her promise, but doubts lingered like shadows at the edges of my perception. The police must be involved, I suggested slowly, mind racing for a logical outlet. Trusting the police is a gamble at this point. They can't protect you from what you don't understand. You need to step cautiously, she warned, an intensity radiating from her. And then the door swung open with a flourish, drawing our attention. A man stepped through the threshold, tall, poised, and radiating an unsettling blend of concern and hostility. My pulse quickened as recognition struck. It's time to go, Grace, he said, his voice commanding and familiar. It was Frank, and he stood there, the storm brewing anew in those stormy eyes. Frank, the name lingered on my lips like poison. I felt Brian's hand tighten around mine, a reminder that I wasn't alone. But amid the chaos, I couldn't shake the fear rising within me, threatening to tear apart the delicate strands of courage that had begun to weave a protective barrier around my heart. The room felt charged, the tension sparking like static in the air. His gaze darted between Brian and me, and in that moment, I knew the choice was here. A decision between running toward the truth or succumbing to the dark unknown, and once again, I stood at the precipice, knowing that whatever lay ahead could shatter the fragile remnants of my life. The coffee shop felt suffocating as I stood frozen, faced with Frank's unexpected presence. His confident stance and piercing eyes absorbed the air around us, and I struggled to comprehend the thunderous weight of his intrusion. Instinctively, I pulled my hand away from Brian's grasp, a chaotic swirl of emotions almost knocking me off my feet. Grace, Frank called, his voice a deep rumble that felt both commanding and oddly soft. We need to talk. Now. I wanted to refuse, to push back against whatever imbalance his words were threatening to bring into my already tumultuous life, but I could feel the collective weight of Brian's concern and the woman's keen interest behind me. The atmosphere crackled, alive with implications I dared not voice. What do you want, Frank? I managed to ask, folding my arms tightly against my chest, desperately trying to shield myself from the emotional barbs I could already feel piercing my defenses. I could see Brian bristle at my lack of compliance, but I had to stand my ground. I want to explain. He stepped forward, a calculated tilt in his frame as he approached the table, taking my silence as an invitation. There's nothing to explain, I retorted, each word wrapped in anger and hurt, nostalgia intertwined with memories of trust and affection that seemed like a lifetime ago. You made your choices clear a long time ago. Choices I had to make for your own safety, he shot back, a hint of desperation creeping into his tone. The memory of Jack's recent passing hung heavily between us, urging me to resist the air of false desperation I could feel emanating from him. They had to be kept quiet. You don't understand what's at stake. What's at stake? Brian interjected, his protective instincts woven tightly around me like a shield. This isn't about power and manipulation anymore. This is about her life. Frank's gaze darted to Brian, a fleeting calculation passing before he returned his attention to me. You have no idea how dangerous this is, Grace. I didn't want you involved, but we don't have time. If you start digging into Jack's past, or worse. I interrupted, feeling the edges of my sanity begin to shatter. You dropped a bomb of betrayal on me, and now you want to act like my protector? You should listen. He implored, voice rising. People are watching. They won't care for your reasons. They only want to silence the truth. We have to move. Silence cloaked the coffee shop, the drifting murmurs of patrons momentarily silenced by the storm brewing at our table. My thoughts collided in a chaotic whirlwind, every story Jack had shared, every moment of laughter now tangled with threads of distrust from Frank's relentless presence. Who's watching? My voice trembled despite my best efforts, a cold line burrowing deep into my chest. I needed to know if Frank was speaking in shadows or if his claims were deeply anchored in reality. Everyone who wants to keep the past buried. This goes deeper than you know. He leaned closer, urgency etched into the lines of his face. You need to decide if you want to face the truth, because if you don't, Grace, his voice lowered to a somber whisper, you'll lose more than just Jack. The intensity of his words pierced through my defiance, leaving me feeling more vulnerable than ever. I remained frozen as the weight of his declaration lingered in the air, threatening to drag me under. And yet, even amidst the conflicting emotions gathering like storm clouds, a flicker of hope ignited deep inside me. In the corner of the cafe, I noticed a woman, teetering on the brink of tears. Her hands were wrapped around a coffee cup, and in her solitude, she radiated an unspeakable longing. I felt a strange connection, as if her heartache echoed my own, reminding me that kindness, however small, could still exist in a world engulfed in darkness. Enough. I finally shouted, defiance surging through me as I shook off the momentary hedge of fear. I don't know what haunts you, Frank, and I don't care. What I do know is that I won't spend another moment of my life running. My words struck a chord, stirring the tempest inside. Frank. His expression shifted, frustration clashing with something deeper, perhaps regret laced with an unnameable grief. Then you need to prepare yourself. You are playing a dangerous game, Grace, and if you refuse to listen to reason. He took a step back, a shadow of hesitance faltering his resolve. Then what? I shot back, my heart racing. What will you do? You've already taken everything from me, Frank. What more could I possibly lose? In that defining instant, a realization dawned, something beyond the chaotic conversations, lost friendships, and untold truths. I was at the edge of a cliff, and the winds swirling around me were threatening to sweep me off into their depths. I may have felt lost, but it was the first time I sensed that I held some power over my fate. Before I could dwell on my newfound clarity, the door swung open again, and this time, it was a familiar figure, someone I hadn't seen in a long time, yet their presence sent shards of light through the dark expanse that clouded my heart. Grace, Jack's voice resonated, an echo of warmth pulling at the corners of my awareness. I spun around, disbelief seeping into my bones as I saw him standing there, his eyes haunted yet alive with determination. Jack? The name fell from my lips, a whisper of hope carefully poised against the chaos of my heart. Yet as I reached out, uncertainty hung heavy in the air, a wave of mixed emotions swirling around me, placing me once again at a precipice. What truth would he bring into my world, and what choices would I face now with newfound love and devastating betrayals all crashing down like tidal waves? The weight of Jack's presence enveloped me like a tidal wave crashing into the shore, so fierce, so unexpected. My heart raced, a mixture of disbelief and longing flooding my senses. He was supposed to be gone. There should have been finality, a closure sewn into the fabric of our ending. Yet here he stood, tangible and alive, bathed in an ethereal glow that flickered in the dim light of the cafe. Jack, how? My voice trembled, reconstructing the fragile pieces of my emotions that had crumbled in Frank's wake. The remnants of pain from Jack's funeral danced dangerously close to the surface, aching with questions I dared to ask. Can we talk? Jack's voice was rough, yet beneath it lay an undertone of urgency that I couldn't ignore. He glanced over his shoulder at Frank, the tension in the room thickening as their eyes locked, a silent battle that spurred the air to hum with electricity. I can't believe you are here. The words slipped out before I could choke down the swell of emotions. Are you okay? Just please. His plea cut through my hedge, and somewhere deep within me, a sliver of hope nudged, igniting fragile flames amidst the turmoil swirling in my heart. I could feel Brian's protective stance behind me, his silent question hanging in the air. Was I ready to wade into this emotional storm again? Let's step outside, I suggested, the cafe's walls closing in as the reality of our surroundings twisted and tangled with the past that haunted us both. As we moved outside, the cool evening air hit my face like a gentle caress. The muted city sounds blurred into a distant hum, remnants of a world that felt far removed from the intensity of this moment. Grace, Jack began, but his words caught in his throat, surfacing amidst the swirl of mixed emotions. I stared into his eyes, searching for the truth that had been buried with him, yet so desperately wanted to resurface. Why didn't you tell me what was going on? Why didn't you reach out? The questions poured out, laced with hurt and vulnerability, almost intoxicating in their honesty. After everything, I thought we had a promise of honesty between us. I thought I was protecting you. His voice cracked, the rawness carrying the echoes of our past. Things got complicated. Dangerous. When my father found out what I was looking into, he took a breath, steadying himself against the storm of emotions swirling around us. He wanted it buried. And when I didn't comply, well, you know what happened. No. My voice was fierce, a protective roar surfacing from the depths of my heart. You didn't get the chance to choose for me, Jack. You acted without thinking of me, without considering the consequences of your silence. I know, and I am sorry. His anguish cut through my anger, revealing his sincerity in ways I could hardly fathom. I never wanted to lose you. I just needed to keep you safe. But at what cost? I shot back, the truth of my own words shaking the ground beneath me. The sorrow from Jack's funeral looped around us like a puppet string, pulling at the remnants of the love I thought I'd buried. I lost you anyway. He reached out, his hand brushing against my cheek, sending sparks electrifying my skin. Grace, I came back because I couldn't let you face this alone. Not anymore. For a brief moment, the weight of our shared history melded with that flicker of hope, an unspoken connection weaving through the hardships that bound us. But then, the shadow of reality loomed large once more as Frank stepped outside, the tight lines of his mouth warning us that our precious moment was at a delicate crossroads. Jack, Frank's voice sliced through the air, low and warning, this isn't a game. You think you can just walk back in and everything will be fine? They will come looking for you. Jack straightened, defiance igniting his eyes. I am not running anymore. And if they find you, find her? The steel in Frank's tone put a chill in the night, reminding me that danger lurked just out of sight. A monstrous hand gripped around my heart, tightening with every word shared. I felt the heaviness settle around us like an encroaching fog. Clouds full of unspoken truths hanging ominously over the three of us. Uncertainty called around my gut, threatening to snuff out the flickering hope I had felt only moments before. "Jack, what do you mean you are back?" I pressed gently, desperate for clarity amidst the riptide of peril. His eyes softened but hesitated. "There are things we need to uncover about my father, things he doesn't want anyone to know." I thought, if I could just get close enough, I could expose him. "For everything he's done, for everything." His voice fractured, caught beneath the weight of hidden secrets. "Jack," I said softly, the depth of his words stinging with clarity. "What did you get yourself into?" But before he could answer, the sounds of a car screeching to a halt behind us sliced through the quiet night. My heart thudded violently as headlights cut through the darkness, illuminating the alleyway where we stood, its brightness a stark contrast to the shadows we had tried to fight. My breath caught in my throat as the realization settled. Whatever challenges lay ahead would not only threaten Jack but would also tarnish the fragile bond we had just begun to stitch back together. The world felt like it was closing in, ready to swallow us whole again. "Grace," Jack warned, his eyes wide with urgency. "Get back." In that instant, a figure emerged from the shimmering blur, cloaked in darkness, fixing their gaze on me, a sinister smile curling on their lips that shadowed my very being. And with that, the painful confines of betrayal tightened around my chest. The storm was back, and I stood powerless against its oncoming fury. What new truths awaited in the shadows, and who among us would emerge unscathed? The figure stepped closer, drawing me in with an unsettling mix of familiarity and fear. My heart raced, thrumming a wild beat in response to the urgency behind Jack's voice as he pushed me back, his protective instincts surging to the forefront. "Who the hell are you?" Frank's voice broke through the night, laced with the kind of authority that commanded attention, though it sounded slightly strained, as if he too recognized the potential danger lurking in the shadows. The face before me, illuminated by the harsh headlights, was like a specter from my nightmare zone. I never anticipated would reconnect with this chapter of my life. "Just a messenger," the figure said smoothly, their voice coated in a syrupy facade of calmness that clashed jarringly with the tension in the air. "A reminder that past decisions have a way of catching up with you." The words hung heavy, unraveling my thoughts into a confounding mess. This wasn't merely about Jack or the tangled thread of our shared history. It was a foreboding hint that things were about to get far more complicated. "Is this about your father?" I managed to ask, my voice a shaky whisper, half expecting the ground beneath me to open and swallow me whole. "It's about more than just him," the grinning figure replied, tilting their head knowingly, as if they relished the rapid spiraling of confusion in my heart. "Jack has done well to stay hidden, but that ends now. Time to face the music." Jack's jaw tightened, revealing a side of him I had longed to see but feared all the someone that was ready to fight, perhaps to even put everything on the line. "You should leave, Billy. You know nothing of what you are walking into." "Actually, Jack," the figure said, a dark amusement sparkling in their eyes, "I know exactly what I am walking into. You won't be able to stop your father's plans, and Grace is merely collateral." A shiver ran down my spine at the implication of those words. My heart raced in warning, my instincts now screaming at me to recall, to run, but my feet felt cemented to the ground beside Jack. The warmth radiating from him anchored me, providing the only thread of hope in this suffocating moment. "We will protect her," Frank asserted, stepping slightly forward, shielding me from the overt malice emanating from the figure. "You need to leave now, or else what?" Billy laughed, but it was a chilling sound that sent a wave of dread rushing over me. You think you can protect her? You think any of us can escape this? Spoiler alert, no one walks away unscathed. Jack's hand tightened around mine, the fear lacing his grip making me acutely aware of how precarious our situation truly was. Get away from Grace, he demanded, his voice low and fierce, promising a wrath I had never truly seen before, the embodiment of a man who had everything to lose once again. You're going to need her when the truth comes out, Billy replied, his smile widening unsettlingly. Don't underestimate what shadows can do, Jack. They can swallow you whole. In the cacophony of threats and shadows, I caught a glimmeron of unexpected kindness, the fleeting warmth of Brian, who had remained a quiet sentinel behind me. He took a step forward, his presence grounding, a silent vow echoing in the confident lift of his chin, as if he were willing to stand with us in facing whatever darkness emerged from this showdown. But before I could register the urgency in his eyes or the significance of his chosen stance, the night erupted into chaos. A shout echoed from the car, and another silhouette emerged, this time far less ambiguous, a shadow shifting with purpose. My heart plummeted when I recognized that person, the very last individual I expected to see. My breath quickened, the realization dawning as they stepped forward, hands raised in a placating gesture that filled me with dread. Stop. Everyone, just stop. She yelled, her voice trembling yet resonant with authority. Clara? I gasped, disbelief and shock intertwining to create an almost tangible barrier around my heart. She was my mother-in-law, and yet, she had been complicit in sealing Jack's fate, her disapproving gaze a constant reminder of the rift she had created between us. Jack flinched at her arrival, visibly shaken as if the very ground were shifting beneath his feet, a reflection of the turmoil he had carried all along. What are you doing here? He breathed, a mixture of hope and fear threading through the weight of his question. I am here to help, she said earnestly, a level of sincerity gleaming in her eyes I hadn't expected. It's time to end this, Jack. We can't hide from the past, it's time to confront your father together. The discord in the air thickened, charging the moment with unrefined tension, a new script demanding to be written within the chaos. My chest tightened, the fragile bond between me and Jack teetering precariously at the edge of a cliff, teeming with uncertainty as one question echoed louder than any other. Could we truly trust Clara to stand with us now, or was it too late to seek redemption from the very shadows we had once tried to escape? As her words sunk in, I felt the churning tide within me surge. One thing was for certain, storm was gathering its darkest clouds, and its ferocity was beyond anything I had ever imagined. War was on the horizon, and the choices we made in the days to come would determine who we would have to become. The wind howled as it swept through the clearing, a haunting prelude to the tumultuous emotions exploding within me. Clara's presence, once a source of conflict, now felt like a lifeline thrown into turbulent waters, yet I couldn't shake the insistent weight of mistrust that had settled over my heart like a thick fog. Jack stared at his mother, searching her face for a flicker of honesty among the shadows of her past. Help? He echoed, his voice taut with skepticism. You were the one who turned away when it mattered most. Why now? Why should I believe anything you say? His anger was palpable, and the air grew tense as Clara held her ground, determination etched across her features. Because I was wrong, Jack. I see that now. I thought keeping you away from him would protect you, but I only made things worse. We need to face this together. My heart ached at the rawness of their exchange, the unresolved wounds cutting deeper with each moment that passed. I was caught in a web of grief, betrayal, and the faintest glimmer of hope. The world around us felt laced with echoes from the past, every gust of wind whispering unspoken truths. Together? Jack scoffed, incredulity coloring his tone. You think we can just pretend the past didn't happen? The damage is done, Clara. You can't take that back. Just then, a fresh wave of urgency surged from the shadows, nudging me forward despite the trepidation knotting my stomach. Wait, I interrupted, my own voice quaking but resolute. If this is about the truth, then we need to hear it. All of it. No more secrets, no more half-truths. But first I paused, drawing a shaky breath. What are your plans for Jack's father? How do we confront that darkness without losing everything? Jack's grip on my hand tightened, his thumb brushing across my knuckles in a bid for comfort, even as our reality unfolded around us like a dark flower blooming in the night. Clara's gaze flicked between me and Jack, her expression faltering, as if the enormity of what we were asking struck her like a blow. I can't do this alone, she admitted, vulnerability cracking her facade. I am afraid of what he'll do. Your father is dangerous, Jack. He won't take this confrontation lightly. The air crackled as the truth of her words settled in stark clarity. We were staring down the barrel of an impending storm, and each of us bore the scars of past confrontations. The shadows flickered with memories of betrayal, a reminder that we were facing not just Jack's father but the ghosts of our collective choices. Suddenly, tears pricked at the corners of my eyes, emotion flooding my senses. But if we don't do something now, we might lose everything, I said, voice thick with pain. We can't let him dictate our lives, not anymore. Jack, we can't keep running. For a moment, Jack's steel-like resolve wavered, his fierce facade softening as he grappled with the implications of my words. Then, he looked at Clara, his eyes pleading for answers that might still save us. What do we do? Before Clara could respond, there came a crackle of leaves behind us, the sound echoing through the tumultuous quiet, drawing all our gazes. A figure stepped into the light, and while the instant recognition was absent, there was something unsettlingly familiar about their silhouette. Funny how family reunions always come with a bit of chaos, the newcomer said, a sardonic laugh breaking the looming tension. My breath caught in my throat as I realized who it was. Mark, Jack's long-lost brother, a ghost I never thought would materialize. His expression clouded with equal parts defiance and weariness. I couldn't let you have all the fun without me. His presence sent shockwaves through the group, an entirely new layer to this already fraught dynamic. I felt Jack's body tense beside me, a mixture of anger and disbelief evident in every taut line of his posture. What do you want, Mark? Or did you come here to stab me in the back just like the rest of our family? Mark's laughter faded into silence, and for an agonizing moment, the world around us held its breath. I am here to make things right, he said, and despite the uncertainty threading his words, I sensed an unexpected sincerity beneath them. I've heard the whispers. I know what kind of hell Dad's planning. And trust me, it gets worse. In that heartbeat, the gathering storm intensified, swirling around us like an out-of-control tempest. The tangled histories mingled with the present, each thread pulling tighter around our collective fate. I could see in Jack's eyes that he was struggling to process this sudden shift in the narrative. But more importantly, I understood that this moment marked the beginning of a darkness we had yet to face, one that would either bind us with newfound strength or shatter everything we had fought to hold together. With a heart heavy with both trepidation and hope, I realized that the path before us was fraught with uncertainty, a treacherous terrain that would test our resolve, our love, and our willingness to confront the shadows of our past. As the wind howled louder, I couldn't shake the feeling that whatever lay ahead would irrevocably change us for life. The shadows of the clearing felt darker as Mark's words hung in the air, a dissonant echo of anger and fear interweaving with our own insecurities. Jack turned stiffly towards his brother, his face a study in disbelief. Make things right? You think we can just pretend like you weren't the one who left? That you can waltz back into our lives and everything will be okay. Mark's shoulders sagged under the weight of Jack's accusations, but he stood his ground. I know how it looks, Jack, but I've changed. You don't realize what it was like to leave, to see everything from the outside. Dad was right, it was dangerous to stay. The unflinching look in his eyes cut through Jack's fury and struck a chord in me. I wished I could reach into the swirling storm of emotions and pull out the fragments of hope, but those fragments felt brittle and elusive. Instead, I took a deep breath, breaking the rising tension. Mark, if you are here to help, we need to start by understanding everything. What exactly do you know about your father's plans? Mark glanced between us, hesitating before he spoke. I overheard conversations gathering people. Allies. He paused, dread clouding his formerly confident demeanor. You have no idea how many are willing to fight for him. It's bigger than just us. My heart sunk as I exchanged glances with Clara and Jack. The fear of Jack's father deepened in my gut, a cold dread creeping in. How do we fight against that? I whispered, feeling small and frail against the weight of their history. It's not about fighting them, it's about exposing his lies, Mark said, a fire igniting in his chest. I can help you. I know what players he has and where they gather. His words felt like a thin thread connecting our chaotic lives to a flicker of hope. Jack hesitated, his lips pressing into a tight line. And what do you want in return? There was a steely resolve in his voice that hinted at the depths of his distrust, a barrier thick with betrayal. I want to be a part of this family again, Mark said, lowering his gaze, and for a fleeting moment, I saw the glimmer of vulnerability in his eyes. I've made mistakes, but I can't let Dad drag you into his darkness alone. It's tearing me apart knowing what he'll do to you. Clara stepped forward, her voice softer now. We need transparency. No secrets, no second agendas. If we do this, we must be united. An idea formed in my mind, one that felt precarious but necessary. What if we met regularly, just the four of us? A safe space where we can share everything. We assess our next steps without any surprises. Jack nodded hesitantly, his pragmatism trying to wrestle with his emotions. It's risky, but maybe. Mark's expression shifted, an emotion I couldn't quite read flaring in his eyes. Sure, but just so you know, I'll do whatever it takes to protect Jack and you. You are family, and I am not leaving again. An unexpected warmth flooded me at his words, yet my intuition warned me that this arrangement felt precarious, a tapestry woven with raw threads. As we stood united, a chilling breeze interrupted my moment of solace. It whispered an ominous reality. We were still at risk of having everything torn asunder. The night deepened around us, pressing against our hearts as the last rays of light slipped away. As we turned to leave, I glanced back at the faded shadows of our past, each person harboring wounds of betrayal, pain, and longing for healing. In the days that followed, we began to unravel the complexities of our entwined narrative, as gathering facts and facing fears. Yet, an unsettling thought haunted me at night. With each passing day, the world felt smaller, as if Jack's father were a dark cloud looming ever closer. Despite the warmth of our newfound alliance, an inescapable dread tightened around me like a vice. As we pooled our histories to forge a plan, an unnerving question clawed at my mind: could we truly trust Mark? Or was he merely another piece in his father's dangerous game? Then, just as I felt a sense of clarity beginning to settle, a sudden knock on my door disrupted the precarious Picia familia. Sound I had not envisioned in my wildest nightmares. My heart raced as a cold sweat trickled down my back. The dread wrapped itself around me, a familiar, suffocating grip. I opened the door. and standing there, with an uncharacteristic grin marking his face, was someone I never thought I'd see again: Jack's father. His presence was a sharp blade cutting through the fragile web of hope we had just started to weave. "Surprise, surprise," he drawled, an unsettling glimmer in his eyes. "I came to collect my son." The world stilled as Frank's voice washed over me, chilling my bones like a winter storm. His presence loomed, suffocating my small sanctuary, and reality crashed against me like waves against jagged rocks. The laughter I'd heard just moments before felt like a distant memory as my pulse raced and fear coiled around my heart. "Frank!" Jack shouted, stepping protectively in front of me. The grim determination etched on his face mirrored the turmoil raging inside me. "You're not taking me anywhere." Frank's smile was twisted, like a predator saving its prey. "You think this is a joke, Jack? You've tangled with forces you don't fully understand. It's time to come home, time to fix what you've broken. Fix what?" Jack spat, defying the quivering anxiety threatening to unravel him. "You've done nothing but destroy lives. Not just Miniers. The silence hung heavy between us, thick with unspoken fears and painful truths. Clara bristled at the door, her maternal instincts flaring to life. A fire ignited as she squared her shoulders beside Jack. "You will not take him anywhere," she declared fiercely, the rage beneath her words a protective shield. Yet Frank chuckled, a hollow, humorless sound. "Oh, Clara. You think you have any power here? This is bigger than you can imagine." The walls of our safe haven seemed to close in around me, a stark reminder of how fragile our thread of hope had become. "What do you want from us, Frank?" My voice was brave despite the tremors shaking my hands, fueled by the desperation I felt for Jack and the fragile resolve we had only just begun to build. "Why now?" He stepped closer, his breath heavy with secrets and sin. "Because the past gets messy, and I can't let you drag our family into it. There are choices to be made, and I won't let your recklessness jeopardize everything." A frisson of dread pulsed through me, igniting each nerve at his admission. "So this is about control?" I asked, fighting against the rising tide of fear clenching my heart. "You want to bury us in your labyrinth of lies?" Frank's piercing gaze bore into me, his smirk deepening. "You don't understand what kind of game you're playing, Grace. You could lose more than you imagine. But mark my words, I won't let you ruin my legacy." Jack's anger surged, igniting an inferno within him that I had never witnessed before. "And what legacy is that?" he growled, stepping forward. "A legacy of lies? Of fear? Because if that's what it means to be your son, then I rejected." Just then, the door behind Frank burst open, and two dark figures stepped inside, their expressions cold and predatory. My heart plummeted. The danger we'd feared was now tangible, flesh and blood manifestations of Frank's sinister connections. "They are here to escort you home, Jack," Frank said, an uncanny calmness settled over him, as if he reveled in the chaos. "You can either comply peacefully, or you will make this harder on everyone else." My thoughts raced, battered by fear and an instinctive urge to protect those I loved. "You don't have to do this, Jack," I whispered, desperation curling my voice. "You can still choose." The air thickened. Frank's manners crackled like electricity, charging the silence with a volatile energy that hesitated on the brink of explosion. As Jack hesitated, I took a step forward, breathing in my courage, the weight of his decisions tangling fiercely with my own fears. "This isn't only about you, Jack," I implored, urgency coursing through me. "We're all facing this together. We need to confront him, expose the truth." The words erupted with a fierceness that astonished me, and for one stirring moment, Jack's hesitation burned bright in the light of my conviction. He turned towards his father, the flash of pain and determination igniting the fierce spirit I loved. You might think you can control me, but I've survived your wrath before. You won't win this time. Think carefully about your next words, son, Frank warned, his composure splintering. You believe you can defy me? I will make sure you suffer the consequences of your insubordination. Jack stood tall, the weight of fear morphing into an unyielding strength. Standing beside him, I felt the strength of our bond shimmer, tethered tightly together in the face of insurmountable odds. You can threaten us all you want, but I won't let you push me around anymore, Frank. I'll face whatever comes with grace by my side. Together, the tension reached a boiling point as silence descended again. The threat of violence curled in the air, taut and electric. And as if sensing the shift, the two figures behind Frank moved slightly forward, their intentions all too clear. Enough of this, the taller one growled, eyes dark and fierce. No. I shouted, my heart racing as I stepped in front of Jack, resolutely placing myself as a barrier. We won't back down. The unexpected action caught everyone off guard, shockwaves of my choice rippling through the tension-riddled room, binding us together in a shared understanding of love, loyalty, and willingness to fight against the darkness threatening our lives. My heart hammered as I prepared for whatever unfolded next, feeling a warmth blossom in juxtaposition to the storm brewing. There was power in making that choice, a fierce acceptance of the reality of our entangled lives, and an unwavering belief that together, we could shift the tides. Frank stepped back, taken aback by this united force standing against him. You will regret this, all of you, he spat, but doubt seeped into his words, unsettling his confident facade. Beneath his calculated menace lay a flicker of fear of losing his grip. Maybe, Jack asserted, voice steady, but we refuse to be your pawns any longer. That stirring truth pushed through the darkness clutching at our throats, igniting a new fire of unimaginable hope. Then the unthinkable happened. Frank's two men inched closer toward us, preparing to strike. But as I inhaled deeply, readying to face whatever came, Clara stepped forward, determination etched into every feature of her being. Stop this now, she demanded, somehow finding a coil of strength that she had previously kept hidden. Frank's carefully constructed facade cracked, revealing the storm inside him as he roared, you will all regret this. I will not lose control. As chaos descended, I felt the energy within me surge, pulsing with an intensity I couldn't comprehend. Jack, Clara, Mark, and I stood resolute, all of us defying the labyrinth of darkness that pulled us apart for so long. We founded a pact in that moment, a vow to face the unknown, regardless of the peril twisting around us. Whatever you think this is, Dad, Jack said, voice rising above the chaos, you have underestimated our strength and our love. And in that moment, united against the tempest brewing, I understood. Forgiveness wouldn't come easily, nor would trust, but we would step into the darkness together, confront the tangled web of lies, and uncover the truth that intertwined our fates. No longer confined to the shadows, we were now free to fight. As the final toll of that night settled, the air thick with tension, I grasped Jack's hand, feeling the warmth of his resolve meld into my own. No more running, I whispered, and in that solemn promise, there was a flicker of hope, a dim light born from the darkest of nights. We will confront the truth, Jack vowed, and even amidst uncertainty, I could feel it, love and strength tethered us together as we plunged into the unknown. United, we would face whatever storm awaited, come what may. And together, we would not falter. In the midst of chaos, a whisper echoed in my heart, this is where we reclaim our lives.